Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It is Monday, the 7th day of December, a date that will live in infamy. Yes, today is National Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day. In addition to that, it is National Illinois Day, and it is National Cotton Candy Day. So that's kind of a positive one.
I love cotton candy.
Yeah, I remember we rented a cotton candy machine once, and then
That is messy.
I had never really even thought about how it was made till we got that.
Yeah.
It's just sugar. It's
Well, yeah,
literally
it's just sugar.
So we pour
It's
sugar
spun
in,
sugar.
and it spins out and makes more sugar.
But it is messy. It flies everywhere.
It's not necessarily the cleanest thing. So those of you who make cotton candy, hats off to you today. And it is a Movie Star Monday as well. My guest today is Stacey Keach. Now, many people know Stacey Keach as Mike Hammer. He was on TV for many years as that. And then I had a TV show that I really liked. It was called Titus with Christopher Titus. He was his dad.
Okay.
He's the narrator on the TV show American Greed. Our son said he was in the movie Nebraska. I remember that as well. A lot of great things, and I'm super excited to visit with him about his newest project. That is on the way on this Movie Star Monday.
Addiction. It's not a pretty thing. Addiction can lead to many problems in your life. Addiction can drive away those who love you the most. And addiction can lead to the loss of jobs, relationships, and even your life. Don't let addiction tear your life apart anymore. Get the help you need to defeat addiction and put the pieces back together in your life. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. They want to help. Timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. An airline industry group is developing a digital health pass that you will show custom agents that you've been vaccinated for COVID before you could enter their country for some countries. So it'd be like a passport, but it's a digital health pass.
Okay.
A Danish study found that divorce is more painful for a person's physical and mental health than any previous study realized. So in the past, they're like, it's not easy.
Yeah, I could see that.
And I think a lot of the time it depends on the situation. So many times you talk about these studies, it's different for everybody. Because I know people who've gone through a divorce that was like a simple divorce. I know people who've gone through a divorce that was like a really terrible, awful, terrible, painful divorce. And in either case, they're saying it's more painful for a person's physical and mental health than they realized in the past. That is surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com.
Do you have a credit card? We'd like to help you get a better credit card. If you don't have any credit cards, we'd like to help you too. At BetterCreditCards.com, we have credit cards that offer different things for different people. Some cards offer points. Some cards are designed to help you build your credit. BetterCreditCards.com wants to help you get a better credit card, no matter what you're looking for. See if we can help you find a better credit card at BetterCreditCards.com. That's BetterCreditCards.com.
This is your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by TimeForRehab.com. A berserk woman went on a booze-related rampage, smashing hundreds of bottles of wine and spirits inside a British supermarket.
I watched this video. She was insane.
Yeah, she went into an Aldi supermarket in Stevenage, England. Stevenage. Would you say Stevenage?
Here's what I didn't wonder about watching that video. There were all sorts of people around
watching it.
This woman was not armed. Why didn't somebody take her out?
I don't know.
She
began breaking bottles. 500 bottles of alcohol.
Yeah, I would have knocked her down.
$130,000 in damage. Yeah, Heidi being like, get away from my wine, lady.
I would have knocked her out.
Video on social media shows a woman wearing a gray hoodie, khaki pants, and a backpack, grabbing bottles from the shelves, smashing them on the floor. A trail of broken glass and booze all over the place. $130,000 in damages. Other footage shows a woman slipping and falling on the broken glass. Onlookers say she was cut and bleeding from her right hand. Later, police officers grabbed her, escorted her out of the supermarket. Local reporters say the unidentified woman was arrested and treated at a hospital for her injuries. So I don't know what it says, a booze-related rampage. So she must have been liquored up doing this.
It must have been.
That's what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. Ryan Seacrest is in the news. Is going to sell his Beverly Hills mansion for $85 million. He's torn between staying in L.A. or moving to New York, but 85 million beans. He's a radio announcer, much like Heidi and I, and our mansion is not worth 85 million. It is not a mansion, so he's apparently got much better agents. What's that? We don't have agents. Never mind. Helena Bonham Carter says Netflix has an obligation to warn viewers that The Crown is a fiction and not an actual documentary. Here's the thing, I got to tell you, we watched, we don't have Netflix now, we got rid of it, but when we had it, we watched a show called The Queen's Gambit, and it kept putting years on the screen, and I thought for sure that was like a true story, and I Googled it. It's not.
No.
So I could see where people might think
Great
The
show. Crown
is. And Real Housewives of Atlanta star Candy Burris and her husband Todd Tucker attended a large maskless bash on Sunday, and now the internet is mad at them. So that was last weekend. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
At WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com, we help you get ready for all the fun holidays throughout the year with fun, silly, and just plain weird gift ideas for your friends. If you have a friend who has a bizarre sense of humor, we've got a gift for them. WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com posts a link to something that will make you smile each and every day. Whether you buy these weird gifts or not, it's worth checking out just for a smile. WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. That's WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
Now your scoop of the day. It comes your way, courtesy of TimeForRehab.com. Cardi B, that's Heidi's hero, by the way. She says, just kidding, she's not a huge fan, says that people are trying too hard to be offended after she hosted a Thanksgiving party for 40 people with her husband Offset. And people were upset online because they're going, hey, I was told I can't do that, but now you're doing that. And she's going, hey, everybody just calm down.
You know what? Why? No. Why should anybody calm down?
But the thing is, it wasn't Cardi B telling people that they couldn't have other people.
Okay, but you know what? If anybody else had done it, they would have been in trouble, and she wasn't in trouble. So it's got to be the same rules for everybody all across the board.
I agree with that, but there are many people who broke that rule, not just her. I'm just telling you. Harry Styles' cover of Vogue magazine was such a hit that there's now a waiting list to get a copy of the next print when it comes out. So there's a waiting list to get a copy of a magazine because this dude's on the cover.
Okay.
So he's wearing a skirt on the cover, by the way.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah. A YouTuber who was, quote, chasing his dreams, end quote, fractured his skull when he leaped into a river from the top of a bridge in Austin, Texas. So what were you doing? They said. I was chasing my dreams. Well, his dreams are all soaking wet now. And he's got a fractured skull. Yikes. An Oregon nurse was placed on leave after bragging on TikTok that she does not wear a mask, even though she is a nurse. And she's supposed to. And she's like, no, I just don't. So now she's on leave. They're saying, hey, you know what? Now you're not. A video of a fox that's been coming to the window of a quarantined British man's home and entertaining the man. The video has gone viral. I think that's really kind of cool. So the guy's stuck inside, and this fox has been popping up every day to come over and say hello. That's really neat. Now, have you ever seen, I don't know if I can say it right, Tecate beer, T-E-C-A-T-E? Have you ever seen that before?
Not.
I'll bet you have. I've seen it before, and it very much, a lot of people listening right now will probably agree. I would have guessed that it was like Dos Equis or something where it came from, what's the other, Corona?
Okay.
Because there's a lawsuit accusing this beer, which is made in Holland,
okay,
from masquerading as a Mexican beer.
Oh,
I
so
thought
their
it
labeling
was.
looks like
everything about it. I thought it was from Mexico, and
Okay.
it's not. It's from Holland, which again, no problem with me, but I don't know why you would pretend. And where should we go from here? How about this story right here? If you go on YouTube, you can find somebody who's got a channel for just about everything, like a vlogger who devotes his channel to videos of him unclogging drains.
That's nice.
And it's actually, believe it or not, quite fascinating. Some of the drains, he's got some big ones on there. So there's him showing you how he unclogs like storm drains during ferocious rainstorms. So it's actually kind of interesting. And I clicked on there and watched. It's not something I would do as a hobby, but I'm glad somebody's doing it, I guess. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Monday.
Early to bed, early to rise makes you healthy, wealthy, and wise. This is a great quote from Benjamin Franklin. At InsuranceChicken.com, we know a thing or two about great quotes. We help people get great insurance quotes every day. It's super simple and free to find out if we can make you healthy, wealthy, and wise. Okay, I can't guarantee that, But I can assure you we'd love to help at InsuranceChicken.com. We want to help you pack out great deals on insurance. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on this Movie Star Monday. Super excited to visit with Mr. Stacey Keach. How are you, sir?
Good, John. How are you?
I am fantastic, and thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us. You've been in a bunch of movies and TV programs that we all know and love, but you've got a really cool project you're doing right now, The Tipkin Stories, and this is Alexander Tipkin, translated by Paul Lazarus. So how did you get involved in this? I see you're one of the narrators.
Well, Paul Lazarus and I go way back to 1991 when he was running the Pasadena Playhouse and directed me in a one-man show called Solitary Confinement, which written by Rupert Holmes, a play that went on to the Kennedy Center and on to Broadway. And Paul and I have remained friends ever since. And he approached me and said, I've read this author. I think you should take a look at this guy. Russian author. I think he's fantastic. And I translated his stories. And I want to record them. And would you be interested in doing one? And I read about it, and I thought, wow, this guy can really write. And it's beautifully translated, by the way, by Paul. So we recorded these recently. Wonderful cast. Jason Alexander and Vanessa Williams and Michael Urie and Danny Burson and Rachel Brett and Noah Wiley, among others. And they're available at TipkinStories.com.
And I will throw a link to that in the show notes to make it easy for folks to find the Tipkin Stories. But I want to make sure we talk about some of the other things that you've had a chance to be a part of. A lot of folks know you as Mike Hammer. Other folks know you from being the voice on American Greed. You're the narrator for that. And one of my favorite characters you played was with Christopher Titus in the TV show that he had. It was called Titus, and you were his dad. It was such a fun show.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I enjoyed doing it. We just did a reunion show. 20th reunion show. You can find that at ChristopherTitus.com.
And something really cool, each and every character that you play is so completely different. Are you anything like any of these, or are you kind of like Mike Hammer?
No, I think I was when I played him. No, really. People ask me all the time, what's your favorite show? And I always say the next one.
Very, very true. Now, one of the things that you've done a lot of is voiceover work, like voice acting. You're the narrator on the Tipkin Stories and many other things like that. Is that something that you enjoy doing, or what is it that kind of brought you into the voiceover world?
Well, I grew up in a theatrical family. My dad had a radio show back in the 50s called Tales of the Texas Rangers. And I was a 12-year-old kid who went down to watch him shoot these shows live at NBC Studios, and it mesmerized me. I was fascinated to watch these actors, and I thought to myself, this is something I'd like to do this myself. So my introduction to becoming an actor really started with radio. Radio is how I got involved. And I've been a member of LA Theater Works, which we do live radio shows in front of an audience for the past 30 years. And
I believe I just read you did a live play on Halloween this year. What was that?
Frankenstein on KPFK.
That's really cool. Now let's circle back once again to the Tipkin Stories, because something I did not mention, in addition to the big name that we're talking to, Stacey Keach, there's other big names involved in this as well. Jason Alexander, Tim Daly, Rachel Dratch, one of our favorites, Dulé Hill, Noah Wiley, Vanessa Williams. The list goes on and on and on. Now, when you guys were doing this, did you get together and work on this together, or were these all done like separately?
Everybody was in their own home, working separately from their own home. I mean, that's the world we're living in today, God knows.
But that is the fascinating thing about the technology we have today. You can do an amazing project like this, even from home.
Exactly. Well, back in April, I was asked to Zoom Team Lear for a group in Bucks County, Pennsylvania. And from that point on, I said, I guess this is going to be our future. We can't get into a live theater for a while. So I began Zooming. We Zoomed Cat on Hot Tin Roof, Eugene O'Neill's Huey, The Unexpected Man by Yasmina Reza, and just finished doing David Story's Home with a wonderful company, Alfred Molina, Juliet Mills, Maxwell Caulfield, Anna Mathias. We just finished Zooming that. And there are Zooms in the future. As actors, we have to keep expressing ourselves, and if we can't get together on a set or in the theater, this is the alternative.
The technology is amazing. Mr. Keach, thank you for taking the time to chat today.
Thank you, John.
Again, our guest today has been Stacey Keach. We were talking about the Tipkin stories. I'll throw a link to that in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
Addiction. It's not a pretty thing. Addiction can lead to many problems in your life. Addiction can drive away those who love you the most. And addiction can lead to the loss of jobs, relationships, and even your life. Don't let addiction tear your life apart anymore. Get the help you need to defeat addiction and put the pieces back together in your life. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. They want to help. Timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
According to a study, 71% of pregnant women get some sort of anesthesia during childbirth. So what was the stuff that, do you know what you got?
Oh, I don't know what I got.
What was the thing when they were coming to, what was that called? When they were coming.
They wanted to give me, that was not anesthesia.
That's not what that is?
No.
No. I just remember she locked herself in the bathroom, and I felt like I was a hostage negotiator. The doctor's out there making deals with me. I'm like, you ain't gonna.
I'm not gonna.
Sounds great to me. Yeah, throw in the turtle wax for a year.
No,
Sounds
I did
good.
not want Pitocin.
We really gotta get her on
Ladies,
board.
if you're listening, if your doctor says, "Hey, we're gonna go ahead and give you Pitocin," say, "I need to use the restroom," and lock yourself in there until they say, "Okay, fine,
Until they
we
come to their
won't.
senses.
We'll give you a cesarean instead."
It was a whole thing.
And then you can come out.
It was a whole thing. It all worked out. This is today's fun fact. I didn't mean to bring up such awful memory.
Horrible.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Do you have a credit card? We'd like to help you get a better credit card. If you don't have any credit cards, we'd like to help you too. At bettercreditcards.com, we have credit cards that offer different things for different people. Some cards offer points. Some cards are designed to help you build your credit. Bettercreditcards.com wants to help you get a better credit card, no matter what you're looking for. See if we can help you find a better credit card at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Time now for a news headline from somewhere in this world, Dateline Iran. This is an interesting story. A report indicates that Iran's top nuclear scientist was killed by a remote-controlled machine gun.
Oh, that's cool.
So I never heard of such a thing. I've seen that in videos. There was a movie that we watched. I'm trying to think of what it was called. It was, I can't think of what it was. But there was a remote-controlled machine gun in the movie. I can't think of what it was now. But, yeah, I didn't know that was even a real thing. Online, when I was reading the story, it says, now even assassins are working from home. I was like, oh, that's kind of
It's a lot safer.
Yeah. A news headline right there from somewhere in this world.
At WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com, we help you get ready for all the fun holidays throughout the year with fun, silly, and just plain weird gift ideas for your friends. If you have a friend who has a bizarre sense of humor, we've got a gift for them. WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com posts a link to something that will make you smile each and every day. Whether you buy these weird gifts or not, it's worth checking out just for a smile. WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. That's WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
Now some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. I almost didn't read the story because it's got like just all kinds of grenades going to blow up in my face because it's just a bad story. But proving love is blind and sometimes kooky, a bodybuilder from Kazakhstan has tied the knot with his dearly beloved, a doll that he's been dating for 8 months. And he proposed. Clad in a black tux and a bow tie, Yuri Toloko is seen planting a kiss on Margot. That's her name. She appears a bit stiff because, well, she is a doll. And he clutches clutches the bouquet of flowers and stares into a distance like she doesn't blink or anything. She just stares. Well, she's a doll. The couple, which is in quotes here, shared a romantic first dance in front of dozens of guests who attended the traditional ceremony, which was shared on Instagram. The only requirement for a wedding to take place in Kazakhstan is that both our consenting partners have to be male and female over 18 years of age with no mention of whether a doll fits under the circumstances or not. But apparently it does now. So I just don't quite understand this. And again, it's not a Barbie. I don't know if you understand what the doll's for, but if you do...
I totally understand what the doll is for.
That's why I almost didn't read this, but there you go. Now you know. Thanks for listening to today's Weird News.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh, brought to you by timeforrehab.com. A group of customers at a Maryland bowling alley refused to wear face masks, and then they got in trouble because they were asked to leave. When they were escorted out, they punched a manager, knocked him to the ground. 8 men, late Saturday. Now, it doesn't say if they were drinking or not, but they were in a bowling alley late on a Saturday. Again, I'm not saying they have to be drinking, because there are probably a lot of people who do that without drinking, but this facility required masks, and they were not doing that. Other bowlers were saying, hey, can you talk to them? So finally, the manager escorted this group of 8 males outside. Once outside, one of the men punched the manager, causing him to fall to the ground. The other men then kicked the manager while he was down. Suspects then fled the bowling alley before police arrived. No arrests have been made as of the time this story was written. The investigation is ongoing. Be nice to each other. Be nice. And if somebody, if you disagree with them, disagree nicely. Don't do this. This is a bad idea. It's today's moment of duh.
Early to bed, early to rise makes you healthy, wealthy, and wise. This is a great quote from Benjamin Franklin. At InsuranceChicken.com, we know a thing or two about great quotes. We help people get great insurance quotes every day. It's super simple and free to find out if we can make you healthy, wealthy, and wise. Okay, I can't guarantee that, but I can assure you we'd love to help at InsuranceChicken.com. We want to help you peck out great deals on insurance. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
Time now for fake news or Florida. It's the point of the program where I read a story, and Heidi has to tell me, is this a true story from the great state of Florida, or is it fake news made up to trick you and amuse me? She's rubbing something all over her face while we're talking. What is that?
It's jade. It's supposed to help get rid of wrinkles.
Wow, okay.
Or reduce the appearance of wrinkles.
Yes, you can reduce the appearance. Nobody will want to go anywhere with you. That's going to help a lot. So, Heidi, tell me, fake news or Florida? A Florida man was arrested after he was found crawling through the ceiling of a Walmart that had to be evacuated so police could get him out. Fake news or Florida?
Florida.
It's a true story.
I remember that.
I remember that
one.
too. Yeah.
He was like living up there and
I don't know what was going on. He was up there for a while, and they had to wrangle him out of there. So now you know. Thanks for listening to Fake News or Florida on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. It comes your way courtesy of bettercreditcards.com, and Heidi's going to love this story. Here's the headline. The moment the world's loneliest elephant makes his first friend in 8 years.
Oh, I love elephants.
I knew you were going to say that. It says we can now officially call him the former loneliest elephant in the world.
Oh, how
Four Paws
sweet.
wrote on a Facebook post, seeing Kavan, Kaavan, interacting with the other elephants is a huge moment for us, but more importantly, for him. This is his first contact with an elephant in 8 years. The animal welfare charity helped transfer Kavan from Pakistan's zoo to a Cambodia wildlife sanctuary where 3 elephants are there to, keep Kavan company. He was flown on a cargo plane using a specially built crate just for him. An elephant transfer by plane on this scale, I think, has never happened before. So we are writing history here, said Four Paws. Moving this big boy from Pakistan to Cambodia was logistically challenging, and it was the hardest rescue ever for us. He was a year old when he arrived at the zoo in Pakistan back in 1985. He had a partner elephant who lived with him until 2012. That's when the partner elephant died, and this little fella has been heartbroken ever since. Says the team is extremely moved that we could help, and we could not be prouder. This is actually a really cool story. I've got a link to it in the show notes for today, and there's photos in here as well. You can find all of that at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show.